Everybody, good afternoon. Today is like Saturday, I guess. You're going to live stream with me, or you're going to hang out with me while we work on this beautiful quilt. I need a couple things to set up, so I'm going to start the long arm. I still also need to put a bobbin on there, but I appreciate you being here, and hopefully you can hear me well. If you can hear me well, please say hello, hi on the comment lines so that I know that I'm on here. And it's been a while since I've been up here. I've been working really hard. My room is in chaos, but we're just going to get things done. So let me set this quilt up and get it going while I wait for some of you to say hello. I'm going to put a bobbin on here. I'm using a variegated thread. It's a beautiful light blue. It has beautiful light blue hues. This quilt is predominantly white background. So because it's a white background quilt, I have to use, or should use, a very light thread. Every time I change my thread, I kind of oil my machine. I've been working this machine like a workhorse and getting a whole bunch of clients' quilts done before Christmas. I have to get a big job done before, hopefully the tension's good on this, because I have to ship it. I'm trying to ship it 2 weeks before Christmas, so I need to ship it tomorrow or Monday. So here I am. You can see what I'm doing, kind of. See what I'm doing? Kind of. Hi, how are you? Thank you for being here. If the light is bad, let me close that curtain, that right there. I really do appreciate you being here. I'm going to showcase a couple quilts that I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of work and I haven't been filming a lot because it's just a lot of pressure. But today I'm working on this quilt for a company. I'm doing 2 quilts for a company, and I was asked to have it done by Thursday. That means binding too. Let me see. I have shipped a couple of the quilts that I gave away on the 24-hour live. I already shipped a couple of them out. I'm still working on a couple of them. I need to go through the footage on the other live stream. Ooh, maybe no. I'm going to just do Gala. Gala is one of my favorite patterns. Gala has like these beautiful birds and doves and flowers. So I'm going to move you here while I get the other camera going. I am using a beautiful light blue variegated thread. And what you're seeing me here do is I'm finding placement of where the quilt is, because I have a computerized Gamo system. And then this quilt is 86. So then I add the number to the design. And in a minute, I'm going to get the other camera going. Sometimes, let me see, I'm getting another camera going, okay, so you can see what I'm doing. So hi, how are you? Thank you for being here with me. Hopefully, I'm sorry, we may be here for a couple hours. I hope it's okay. If you leave and come back on, if you don't get to see the live, you can watch it later. Hopefully my volume is good so that you could see, like you could hear me well. One time I was doing the live and you couldn't hear what I was saying because I put the mic on, which is this mic, but I didn't. Just not letting us. Just sometimes a mess. Okay. I'm not a professional videographer. I'm not a professional anything. I'm just learning as I go. So this is my little camera. I'm going to show you the design I'm going to put on here. And then I need my readers. And of course, I don't have one. This is one of my favorite designs. And I'm going to move you here. Yep, I need to do 5 rows. Hold on, let me see. Let me put you here so you can see what I'm doing. This is the design that I'm doing. It's called Gala. What I love about it has these beautiful little birds right here, and it has this beautiful filigree. Another one that I like, and maybe I'll do that one because this is for a couple. The neat thing is if I do this, I like Rose for You. And it's beautiful. Oops. roses. Maybe that's better. That would be better. I like that one better. This design takes a little bit longer to quilt. Let me see. And then as I'm here, I am also finding placement. You see me grabbing it and pushing it down, and that little square tells me where the long arm will quilt to. All right, we're gonna get her started. So I'm gonna move you here so you can see what I'm doing. It's been really sweet month for me. And November too. I went to the Grand Canyon, which was a dream of mine to go to. My son took me. It is so beautiful there. And then, so now you're seeing the machine. Hi, I'm back. I know I've been gone for a little bit. I think I got a little bit frustrated with YouTube. Well, you just got frustrated with YouTube. And so I kind of needed a timeout. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been doing YouTube for 10 years. Can you imagine? Pumpkin bread girl. Share. That's neat. Thank you for being here. There's a couple, I kind of got frustrated with YouTube, you know, but it's okay. So let me bring you over here. You can watch the long arm. So I have a camera set up on the long arm, and I have a camera set up on the switcher. Let me see the tension real quick. That's beautiful. I need to have this quilt done and bound and everything put together by Thursday. So I felt like if I quilted today, I could just work on the binding. After today, when I fix it, I'm going to trim it and then I'm going to bind it. And so this season's kind of hard because not only am I doing like family requests that are asking me to do stuff like quilts and stuff for other people, I'm also like have a lot of work. So let me bring you over here, okay? So I'm gonna move you here. I want to share with you these beautiful things that I've been working on, which makes me so excited. I am making labels for some clients, and I have just had so much joy doing the labels. I'll show you also the quilts, some of the quilts that I've been doing, because usually I film. While I'm filming, you guys can I usually edit the videos and you guys can watch what I'm doing. But lately I haven't had even time to film anything. Well, I have, but I haven't had time to edit it. So I moved you over here a little bit. Hopefully I could get you to stay. And then we're gonna work on these labels. I made some labels for my client. Ooh, look how beautiful. Look at that background. Ooh, delicious. Isn't that a beautiful quilt? That is a beautiful quilt. Come on, go out, please. Thank you. I'm learning this system. So let me bring you here. I'm gonna bring you down. I ended up doing labels for a client. Can you see those? And then I was like, if I'm gonna do these for a client, I need to do these for me. These are really pretty. I'm gonna have you watch me trim. But yeah, I got a little bit, let me show you these other labels. Isn't that a beautiful label? I'm doing these for a client, and while I was doing it for a client, I decided, you know what, Lorena, you need to go ahead and do some for yourself, since I've been all the quilts that I've given away, I have not done or placed labels on them. Look, these are beautiful. These are kind of weird. I'm a colorful person. Make them colorful. And then, yeah, they're okay. But I did these for one of my clients, and I think they came out so pretty. And so I went and I made some for myself. What you do is you trim off all this material here. You get your ruler and trim it off, and then it rolls over, and now you have a label. It has double stabilizer, and it's a cutaway stabilizer. So I did these. Look at this. I really like the white and the gray. It's very modern, elegant. I think so. Anyway, look at this one. So this is a job that I need to have done and send out to my client. I'm going to try to send it out next week. And then I did this beautiful label with beautiful shimmery fabric. And I think it's beautiful. But anyway, so we're going to cut these down and I'll show you. This is just all embroidery. In a big, large hoop that I have, you could put up to 6. You can make the labels smaller if you wanted to. You can make them bigger. It just depends on how you want to make them. I like my labels a little bit huskier or thicker because I want the person to see who did them. But it really ultimately doesn't. Label's a label. What I did is I wanted to put 2025 on them, but you know, 25 is almost gone. So I'm going to do half a cut here. But so what I'm going to do with the Sharpie probably, or maybe with a silver pencil, depending on what I'm doing. And look how bad that embroidered. I left the embroidery because I was up here working, which was, and so you're gonna, guys, I hope it's okay, you're gonna hang out and work with me, or just watch me work or chat with me. Maybe working will not be as tedious since I have some, this one broke, so I'm gonna go, that one's no good. Throw that one away. And I'm just using scrap gray fabric. I was gonna make a tree skirt with this fabric, but it never happens, like sometimes things in my life. And I tend to keep and save these bigger scraps of stabilizer. I have a couple embroidery jobs that I'm gonna post in a video. I do have an embroidery video that I just posted. I kind of want to just add new content to this channel. I hope that's okay. And then I'll look at your comments lines and ask you how y'all doing. How y'all doing? Getting ready. Christmas is not my favorite season because I feel like I have double the pressure. I have pressure from clients. I have pressure from family. But you know, we're going to get it done. It always gets done. It always gets handled. I got a lot of clients came probably at the end of October to get, no, the end of November to get stuff done for Christmas. And so sometimes I'm doing my clients' Christmas presents and not doing my own. And I should know better. I should know better. Let me show you how that long arm is going. Look how beautiful she is. Hello, Bob. Hello, Annette. It's really weird how YouTube is changing. Jeanette Harris. Hello, everybody. You're decorating? Girl, I have a little chart. I don't decorate anymore. Look how beautiful that came out. I did these for me because I was like, you know what? If I'm doing these for my client, I need to get some for me. I loved her so much, I decided to do some of these beautiful stars for myself. So this is my stack of... One of the things that I'm kind of disappointed in myself is I gave away about... I think I've given away probably like 40 quilts this year. Given 40 quilts this year. And none of them have labels. None of them have labels. It's okay. I think also too is like just stop, make labels. These take about a good hour and a half to make. So it's like, do I really want to spend that much time in my life to make a label when I'm the kind of person that just wants to get everything done and move on? But let me show you some of the quilts that I finished. They're beautiful. So how many of you are doing quilts for people or have done quilts for people for Christmas and they're already ready to give away? Let me go here. They're already ready to be gifted. I am. Hold on, what happened? Sometimes you just give me a hard time. This, ever since I put a brand new motor on this long arm, she does weird stuff. Quilt. Come on, let's get you going. Stop. No, come on. Stop. I said stop. Yeah, and then she does this weird mechanical rotation that is kind of disheartening. And then she doesn't like, I don't know if you could see what I'm doing. There's like a big giant seam there and she does not like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work very tactfully. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to move it over here out of the way. Then I'm just going to have her start. Then I'm going to mark the quilt so that I know that I have to fill in the stitches right there. And I usually use a I love this. I'm going to use a water side and mark where it skipped the stitches so that I could go back and fill in the stitches. Sometimes it's not worth arguing with your long arm because the long arm will win. The long arm wins. Let me show you how beautiful she is. Look how beautiful. I ended up getting this quilt from the same lady. Young 2008. She came up with this quilt. I think this quilt cost me $42, this quilt top. I am using this beautiful, I don't know if you can see it, beautiful. Let me bring you here. I'm going to move you. I was going to put a gray on here, but I decided to put this beautiful blue background fabric that I got at Marshall's Dry Goods. Let me just tell ya, it's 108, and I think it's for 15 yards of fabric, and I paid $80 for the whole bolt. And if you guys are looking for back fabric, they even have like different fabric specials. I really do recommend them. This fabric is beautiful. Let me share also too. I also wanted to share with you some of the quilts I got done. I don't know if you guys would want to see them. Would you guys want to see them? While I've been working all by my lonesome without y'all with me. Today I wanted to do, oh, I need to look at my live. All right, let me put you here. Let me show you. Hi, how are you? Look how, oh, come on. Come on, pan out. Come on, pan out, computer. It won't do it. Hold on, let me get the other camera. Lord, why? Okay. Let me show you how beautiful this one is. Isn't she a beautiful quilt? Look how beautiful. This one I need to put binding on. She is really pretty. If I could get a close up so you could see the beautiful fabric. Which one am I working on? Yeah, I need to put binding on her. I was thinking of a beautiful red. What do y'all think? I was thinking, I don't think, and then let me show you the back. It has this beautiful gray. This is also fabric I brought in Marshall's Dry Goods. What I like, it's so soft, this fabric. It feels so soft. And apparently Marshall's Dry Goods, someone was asking me about the batting. They have an 80-20 Hobbs. I have bought that one and it looks thin and you can see through it, but I bought a 100% cotton. It's called Cozy Cotton batting from Marshall's Dry Goods, and that batting is beautiful. It feels like warm and natural. It feels like Pellon 100% cotton, and yeah, it's beautiful. So I finished this one, and then hold on, okay? I think this one's like, what a gem. Then I finished this one. I don't know if I showcased this on the other live. This is more like a Christmas quilt. Isn't she pretty? And in the back. Look how beautiful. This one, I don't really like Christmas stuff. I'm not a Christmas decorator kind of person. That's not my jam. I'm not a Grinch, but I'm not. I like things that I use all year round. And I know some people just love using beautiful decorations for Christmas and stuff. I'm not her. Isn't that beautiful? I did that one. And then, let me show you these other ones. I'm going to show you mine. And I think this one's neat. You guys hung out with me, or some of you hung out with me on a live stream. We were building, we were putting this together. Let me see. We put this together. I really didn't like it. It's very scrappy. This is when I did the Sweet Honeybee. And everybody had something to do with making these. Everything's kind of crooked. Nothing's aligned perfect. It's very, seams aren't, nothing's right with this quilt in the center. And you guys did it with me where I added this beautiful teal. You see and it was too small. And I had like scrap pieces that I added on the side. And then I decided to add this beautiful purple on it. I was thinking this could be for a little boy. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Then, okay, let me tell you what happened. My long arm started to throw a tantrum. Yes, she threw a tantrum. I would go to Marshall's Dry Goods. If you can. I think it's worth it because the yard, it comes out to $5 a yard. For a 108 per yard is $5. So if you use 2 yards or 2.5 yards for a queen size quilt, it costs you like $11 for maybe $15 for your king size quilt. Just saying. And then you're like, because usually 108s at Joann's used to cost probably $18, $20 with a coupon. And I think now the only place you can get them, I recommend you go to Michael's. They have specials right now where they have 108 fabric that's really cheap. Really cheap. Come on. Y'all better not start. Little dogs. But let me show you this one. This one was given to me by a friend. And I found it in a bundle of quilt tops. And like I said, my long arm was throwing a tantrum. And I put 2 clients' quilts on the long arm. And it misaligned the design. And I was like, what the hell just happened? So the row was, instead of going all the way across horizontal, come on. The design went in a, like it went across and then went up. And it just messed up. So I put this on the long arm thinking, after I cleaned it, after I went through it, because I was like, what happened? And my neighbor's pulling out her Christmas tree. I see her outside. Anyway, so this came out really pretty. Hold on, let me share it with you. Look how beautiful. Look at those flowers. And I used that same gray in the back. I love walking around their shop. Is their shop neat? Like, is it a shop? Is there fabric everywhere? And honestly, I think you could get some really good deals just on fabric bundles. But look at the fabric. Look at the fabric. How pretty. Let me put you on the long arm real quick. So, are you going out? You go out. I'm not going. I'm staying here. Go outside, and my dogs look at me like, I'm not going out if you're not going out. All right, let's see what else. So at this current time, all I've been doing is working. Like working. Hold on, my dogs. Come on, go outside. I want you in here. You guys are annoying me. How annoying are y'all? I need to find binding for this one. All right, so how are you? How you been? How you been doing? I've been busy. I think I really like this season, kind of. Not because of the holidays, but because I've done a couple of tumblers. I'm using all my embroidery machines. I'm using the sweet lasers. And I am also too, maybe I should do it in this color. Maybe I should do this color. This color? For this quilt? Y'all, what do you think? Come on. I think so. I hate making binding, y'all. And I'm using my long arm. The other day I was long arming and doing embroidery and doing labels. I don't know. It's kind of, it's a lot, but it's a lot of fun at the same time. And I just honestly have a lot of gratitude that I could do what I do. Maybe I'm trying to find binding, guys. If you're like, what is she doing? I'm looking for binding for the quilts that I need to get done. I stay up here for a period of time and I do binding. You're the one. And a lot of times I cut binding and I have the binding ready, or big old chunks of binding ready. And then, but how are y'all? Talk to me, please. How's Christmas treating y'all? How you been doing? Let me go here. Let me see if I'm being... This is my life. It's not very entertaining. I know y'all think like, it must be great being her. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, no. Anyway, let me see. Let me see. What projects are you working on? What are you trying to get done for Christmas? How much work have you gotten done for Christmas? I'm thinking about doing next year another block swap. So I'm kind of like considering if I'm going to do another one. So I'm looking into that. We're seeing what we're going to do. I have shipped out. Come on. All right, hold on. Give me a minute, all right, guys? Let me get on my computer. I almost locked myself out downstairs. I have that keypad. And it wasn't closing. And so one day I just closed it and then I couldn't get in the back. So thank God I had a window open. And my sweet son climbed in and unlocked me. Because apparently on those keypad things, the only way you can unlock them, and I can't find the key. You know, the key that goes with it, I can't find it. Yeah, it's been an interesting week where I do foolish things like that, but it's all good. It's all working out. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's just, like, you don't need those kind of problems when you're trying to get stuff done. Hold on, I'm going to move you. I'm going to have to look at something real quick. And I'm going to show you. Let me see. Let me see. How many days do we have for the holidays? How many of you are finished shopping? It's not opening. Hold on, let me show you the fabric I'm using, or thread. Because she's almost done. All right, did she finish or does she need more? She needs more bobbin. Can you guys see me? Maybe let me bring you up so you can see me better. Can y'all see me? You probably could see me now. So I've learned doing these quilts and doing so many queen size quilts. These quilts take about 2.5 hours to do. They take about 4 or 5 full bobbins, depending on the bobbin that I'm using or the kind of thread I'm using. I can quilt these with 4 rows across and 4 repeats. I've done so many of these and I've bound so many of them. To hand bind across one whole row, it takes about an hour each row, depending if I have my needles ready. I value these quilts to be about $1,500 to $1,000. And I never thought, hold on one second. I'm on the live, okay? Yeah. What, did you get your stuff?
I got one. Great him though. But yeah. No, I hope we did okay. I'm here to pick up my dog.
No problem.
I love you too much.
Okay, I love you too.
Do you have any discipleship now?
Kind of no.
You don't want one?
Can we kind of no?
Okay.
Because then we have like a birthday party, right?
With Lavelle. But I think Sarah said Lavelle and him are going to be going out. That's I'm going to babysit the kids afterwards, but...
Okay.
Will you just let me know, okay?
Yeah, I'll think about it. No, the answer is no.
Okay.
No. Not with the kind of pressure that we've been under. Like, it's all good. No, not right now.
Alright. Well, I love you, Mom.
Alright, I love you.
See you tomorrow.
Is Dad here yet?
No.
Alright.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. That was my son. He's picking up his baby, his little girl. Anyway, my long arm was having a tantrum. And I was almost going to fall apart because right now I have a lot of work and I can't have my machine broken. I've never had the machine broken to a point that like I'm going to have to call a client. Now I have with my embroidery machines. There's a time where I had a lot of work with embroidery and I had to take one of the embroidery machines. Well, I only had one at the time. I had to take the embroidery machine to the shop for them to fix it. So anyway, this little dumb Longarm quilting machine threw a tantrum on me. I put 2 of my clients' quilts on me and it started stitching crooked. Meaning instead of stitching all the way across in the horizontal, let me move you so you can see me. It started stitching in a weird old angle. Sorry. Get the camera. Come on, don't turn on me. So it started stitching like instead of straight across, it was going up towards the back of the pickup bar. And it was just screwing up. So I thought it was me because like the girl was tired. She put up another quilt to get it done. So I really thought it was me, that I maybe misaligned it. I didn't align it right. And I walked away and just, you know, like something stupid like that. The neat thing about quilting, everything that has to do with fabric and thread, like clothing, quilting, you could always unstitch and you could always iron all the unstitches out or recut the fabric. You could, now I can't recut the fabric when it's a client's quilt, but you could always unstitch a quilt. You could always unstitch what you long-armed on there. Now, it's no fun. It sucks. It's really the suckiest experience you can have. To quilt a row takes maybe 15, 20 minutes. To unstitch a row could take up to 2 to 3 hours, depending on the density of the quilting. So yeah, I stitched a whole row and it went crooked and was hitting the back bar, this back bar. And that's never happened to me. Apparently, clean your machines. Because girlfriend doesn't do that. She works a machine. Apparently, on one of the pulley bar on the pulleys, a whole thread nest went on there. And so when the belt would go around that pulley, it would skip. And that pulley has probably like a sensor. And that sensor was telling the Longarm computer to shift. And it was just torture, let me just say. It was torture. I literally spent probably like 2 or 3 hours. And then I thought, because it was, maybe it's me, Lorena, you screwed it up. I literally went and put another quilt on there, and it did the same exact thing. One of the things that I have for me is I'm very proficient on this machine. I've had her for since January 9th of 2009 is the day it was delivered. Now I did use her probably that year, the 09 year. But I really didn't start using her as a business until 2010. So I've had her a good 15 years. And so I really know this machine. I really do. I've never had the Longarm do that to me ever. And I guess because it's never done it to me, because girlfriend always cleans her machine. But lately I've been so busy that it's one quilt after another quilt, after another quilt, after another quilt. I've gotten some of my old sweet clients back, which is kind of neat. I haven't seen them in years. And they said that they were going to a couple people, and their long armors are like, their quilts have big giant pleats on them. And apparently one lady was going to another long armor, and the long armor was asking her to spray base the quilt, and she said that that spray base cost $20, and she'd go through 2 bottles per quilt. And the reason she started not going to me, is this the one? Is because she said I was expensive. And, you know, I don't think I'm expensive. But yeah, some people, if you're a long arm quilting business, they're going to feel like you're expensive, and they're not going to want to come to you because, let's see, you're kind of charging what the market value of quilting is, maybe, I don't know. And they're not going to want to pay that. I need to come up. Okay, hold on. What I'm doing right now is I'm finding placement, if you know. And they're not going to want to pay that, and that's okay too. But I used to do a whole bunch of specials, and because I was doing those specials, I had a lot of work, and it's great having a lot of work. But you know, it's kind of hard. One of the specials I used to do is bring me 3 quilts, I'll do 1 for free. And so I would be spending like 3 hours quilting a quilt for a client for free. I don't think it's worth doing that anymore. So some people will leave you, and it's okay, and you're just gonna have to just be at peace about that. And it's not personal. It's just money. You know, sometimes it's just money for your client. And I always feel that the work that I have is given to me by God. So it's up to God to give me the work. Sorry, I misaligned here. And so, yeah. But she came back, and her mother is I used to quilt for her mother. And so she came back and yeah, so it's kind of neat seeing them again. Let me see. And sometimes, you know, people will go with people that are cheaper, and then they're upset because the person who's doing the cheaper work is ruining a $400 quilt. So I think it's okay, whatever happens. But some people will leave you, and you're going to have to be okay with people leaving you. And you're going to be okay with people staying with you. Either way, I go through a lot of seasons where some clients, I've had them for a period of time and they come to me maybe for like a couple years. And then sometimes something happens and they don't come. And it's okay too. I've had a couple clients that bought long arms because, you know, they feel like they want to do it themselves, and that's a blessing too. Okay. This person asked me this question. I'm going to answer it. So in the quilting community, this is what we do. You measure one side. She wants me to chat about how you get your prices and how you price your clients. So what I do is my client always, they ask me, well, how much do you charge for the quilting? So what I do is you measure one side, you measure the horizontal. So this quilt is 61 and a half. Let me write that down. Let me get a pen. Let me get a good pen. $61 and a half is the horizontal measurement, or the length. So you get the length and the width. So this is my width. And so this is 36 and a half. I recommend if you're a long armor or a quilter, this is one of my favorite measuring tools. What did I say? Shoot, hold on. Distracted. It's worth it. I buy a lot. I have a lot of them. So this is 36 and a half, right? Did I say that? So this quilt. Let me bring you down. Let me bring you down. Hi, how are you? So times 36 and a half. Now, if you're a long armor, I recommend that you measure both horizontals, both verticals. And the reason is sometimes, well, most of the time, your client's quilts are not going to be square. And sometimes your own quilts will not be square. Am I looking at the right camera? Right? Yeah. Yeah. So you get, I'm going to put it 61.5 times 36.5. That's your measurement, and you equal it. You multiply it. That's your big old giant number. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Wendy. Yes, that's my measurement. Then you have this big measurement, okay? So that big measurement is telling you how many square inches you have within that quilt. Inside the square of that, or rectangle of that quilt, you have 2,244 square inches, 0.75. So in a sense, you have 2,245. So that's my measurement. Now, I used to charge times 0.02. So I'm going to charge for quilting that quilt $44.89. So if I had that quilt, that's mine. So if I was charging myself to quilt that quilt, I'd charge myself $44.89. Yes? Now, the thing is you also have to charge a thread charge. That's considered to me like, throw, maybe a baby, okay? It's not a baby. It's not a big giant throw. It's in between both. So I feel like I would charge maybe like $5 or $6 on thread, plus $6 for thread. Now lately, because my clients cannot find, trying to make sure, I'm looking over here, which is my screen, but I'm looking at you, okay? My clients can't find batting lately, so they asked me if I provide it. If I provide a big old giant sheet of batting, this is where you math it. So it's 2245 times 0.0015. I used to have a math like 0.002 for batting. No. I think I have it right. So it was 2244.75. That's how many square inches. I would also have my own measurement for batting, which I think it was 0.005. So for this little quilt, if I was providing the batting, I would probably charge $11.22. Okay, because I'm charging based on the square inches. But I also think one of the things I'm forgetting about this is when you're quilting a quilt for a client, you have to add 3 inches on each side and 3 inches for the top and bottom. So your measurement kind of will increase, but in general, I would charge 0.005 for me to provide the batting. You could go, depending on the batting, how does Lorena get the measurement for the batting? All right, it's a whole new math game. So batting at Marshall's Dry Goods, I pay probably $5.65 for a 108 by 36. So 108 by 36. It comes out to that. That's how many square inches I'm getting for the, and let's just make it $7, okay? So, okay, the way you figure out how much you're paying per square inch based on that $7, which includes taxes and the shipping, and all that becomes more detailed when you go ahead and add the taxes and you add how much shipping you provided. So let's say it costs you 0.0018 to get the batting. That's what it costs you. It costs you almost 0.002. So if I'm paying it and I'm paying for the whole thing of batting, I add maybe 0.003 to it to kind of give me a little bit more of what I paid for. So when a client says, I want a whole sheet of batting, can you provide the batting? I ask them, would you be okay if I use scrap batting? Meaning, is it okay if I Frankenstein it? Which I'm using my scrap pieces. And if they say yes, I charge them the 0.001, because in a sense that scrap batting is kind of like trash batting. But if they want a brand new, beautiful, clean sheet on the batting, I charge them 0.005. I hope I'm not confusing y'all. Am I confusing y'all? Hold on. So, we were originally here, right? Cost of quilting, cost of thread, and then if I add, I'm going to have to add 3 inches and 3 inches on the width, or 6 inches. So it's really 67.5 by 40. 42. because I'm adding the 3 inches right and left. 67.5 times 42. So this is how many square inches it would be that I would give my client for batting times 0.005. And so I charge them $14.17 for the batting. Now, if a client brings their own batting, of course you're not charging them for batting. And of course, if the client is not bringing you the thread or bringing you their own thread, as long as you're okay knowing how to do the tension on that, I'd use the tension on all types of thread, so it doesn't matter to me. So it's really $44 plus 8.9 or 89 cents plus the tax in your community. Over here in Schertz in Texas, or my area, is 8.25. But when you add the $14 plus the $44, wait, $44.89 plus the $14.17 plus the $6, it comes out to $65.66. And then the tax is $5.36 because I have to pay the taxes here in Texas. So it comes out for that little quilt that I'm sharing with you. It costs $70.49 for me to quilt it for a client. And I've changed my prices lately. For a long time, I was .015. For a long time, I was .017. And for a long time, like for years, I think at COVID time, I was going to raise my prices to like .01 or .012. And let me show you the difference of just adding. So .02 costs $44.89 times .021. It costs $47.13. So just adding like .021, it adds maybe $2.50. So just recently I raised my prices to .03 and or .025 because some clients they ask for patterns and I don't charge for patterns, and the pattern cost me $16. I had a client that sometimes she would bring me 5 quilts and I would buy 5 patterns, and those patterns would cost me $16, and then I would spend $80 on patterns she wanted and I wouldn't charge her. And so I decided that if I'm paying for a pattern, or if they want it more densely quilted, like this quilt is not as densely quilted as it can be. The more densely quilted a quilt is, the longer time you're going to be on the long arm, and the more thread you're using while you're working on that quilt. And so I started charging .025. For example, for this, I'm going to put Wendy's measurement. The difference in price is 61.5 times 36.5 times .021 is $47. Let me see, I have my measurement here. 224.75. If I charged, so it's only $2 for asking 0.023. It's $51.62. So it kind of increases by $6 by adding a little more. 23, that's 23, and then 224475. So if I charge .025 for that quilt, it comes out to maybe $12 more for me to quilt that client's quilt. That same quilt. So that same quilt can vary from $44 to $55, depending on what the client is asking me. But in general, for years, everybody was charging .23, .25, and I was staying at .2. And then I think last year or the year before last year, I decided to increase it to 0.21. And then I'm like, it's only like $2. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to go 2.3, and I'm going to keep that as my set cost to quilt. I gave myself like an increased pay a little bit because like my thread was more expensive, the batting was more expensive, food's more expensive, everything's more expensive. But I found when you're a long armor and you work for people and you're working for clients, they kind of don't want you to raise your prices. Even though HEB is, Walmart is, everybody else is, because everything is more expensive. And just as everything's more expensive for them, it's more expensive also for the long armor. But remember, long arm quilting is it's not a necessity. It is a, like, it's like when you have extra money and you can spend it. It's not if you make a decision, right? Either you buy food, and sometimes buying food is more important than getting a quilt done. So I raised my prices, I think last year, and I raised them to 2.3. And then if I have a client asking me for a pattern, adding a design to it, which I'm paying $16, I'm not expecting them to pay the $16, but I am going to raise my prices at 2.025. And if a client is asking for more density, like I really want it densely quilted, and they think like they want you to charge the same with you giving more work and more time. And so I think last year, 2 years ago, I was going to raise my prices. Yes, it's a luxury. Yes. I was going to raise my prices, but then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, I just said, you know what, just stay where you are. You're keeping clients coming. And then sometimes the sad thing is you will price out your clients. You will get to a point where your clients don't want to pay that because they're used to paying, the 0.02, which the difference is what, $44 from $56. So it could be the difference. You're adding $12 to that quilting service. I also try to be real fair with batting. Like I said, what I paid for batting is 0012. So I charge 0.005 because I feel like I'm carrying the carrying cost. I paid for the shipping. I paid for the taxes. I'm carrying the batting in my house so that if they need it. And then if people use my scrap batting, like I have a whole bunch of that big giant strips, I charge them the 0.001 or add maybe 0.002, which honestly I think is a deal for like a baby quilt. Usually for like this baby quilt, if you were to buy the batting at Michael's or Joann's, it'll cost you like $12, $15, and I'm charging them $4 for the batting. Hold on, let me see. Someone's asking me something. So that's how I price out. And then sometimes when I have like a really great client and they've been coming for me for years, I sometimes will just randomly give them a quilt for free. I used to have a rule, if you bring me 10 quilts, I'll do one for free. I used to have specials where in the summer I don't get a lot of work. Now I'm more consistent. Every year I have work. And what I'll do is I'll like give the batting for free as long as they're okay with me using my scrap batting. Sometimes I'll just give them like all their quilts. Like I had a client who brought me 6 quilts just recently. I am giving her a special where she allows me to use the scraps and she allows me to use my random pieces. And I'm literally charging her maybe like $6 for batting for quilts bigger than this, which, shoot, I think that's a deal. Because let me tell you, there's no other long armor that's going to do anything like that for you, because long armors want their money. There's some long armors out there that they're doing the cheapest ass thread. It's called Dritz thread. It's a polyester thread. that's going to knife the hell out of your quilt. And it costs them $7 for, I think a whole bunch, like 15,000 yards. So it's a big giant spool of thread. And it's this beautiful, it's a thick yarn. I use Omni, which is a blend of cotton and polyester. And I also use, come on, please move on. I use King Tut thread, which this is 100% cotton, because I believe that if I put beautiful quilting thread on your quilt will survive for years. And some longarms don't care. Like Omni thread costs $15 for this spool. King Tut thread costs, and I went to the Houston Quilt Show and they wouldn't do the wholesale price. This thread costs $28 to $38 a spool. And I will use these for my clients. And then I'm really charging them what I paid for it. So for a king size quilt, $10. I don't like going over 10, maybe 12, depending on the quilting density that they want. I know some quilters out there that will charge $17 for the thread. If it's a king size, I remember a client came up to me one time and said, Lorena, she was expecting me to pay me like $300 on a quilt. And I said, and she was paying like $28 for the thread. She could buy her own spool. But then the long armor is like, I'm sorry, we can't use that thread. My machine doesn't know how to quilt it. It's just she doesn't know how to do tension. And also too, it's a weird scam. It's a scam of making a lot of money off of thread. And long arm quilters will scam you. I have it here in my community. I have a couple people that will take advantage of the quilters. They'll take advantage of their clients. And I've gotten some of the clients and they're like, oh my God, I'm saving like $30. Well, yeah, like I'm just charging you kind of what I paid for the thread. But I hope that answers your question. I love your YouTube. Thank you so much, beautiful. Thank you for being so sweet. Honestly, you guys who are real sweet to me, there was one, Jess Jones, I love her. She messaged me. I was really going through it. And Jess Jones goes, sweet Lorena, just keep being you. And I thought that was so sweet. And I'm so glad that she thinks I'm sweet. I'm like honey. You're like my little honeybees. No, I'm amen. Sorry. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. And I hope I'm being as honest with you as I can. One of the mistakes I did is I had a client come to me, and for a whole year, I raised my prices from 0.022 to 0.023. And I've been doing 2.3 for so long that I didn't tell my client. I didn't notify her that I changed my prices. And she's like, hey, what happened? What's going on? And I said, I really am sorry. I did raise my prices last year. I hadn't seen her for a whole year. I'm just letting you know. So that was my mistake. And I said, I haven't quilted your quilts. If you're not okay with it, I could return your quilts to you. I'm okay. And honestly, be as honest as you can, because sometimes that was a mistake on my part. But I have so many clients that I go through sometimes that I'm not really... I think I did tell a couple of them in the beginning of the year, hey, I raised my prices. This is what's going on, if you're okay with it. And a lot of my clients, because they've been with me so long, they didn't care. But I'm just, raising it $5 now. If you want to do the big game, when you have an 89 or 86 by 86 quilt, so if you want to know how much I make if I am quilting, so on 0.092, I can't write 4 for some reason. 0.021. And 2, 3, sorry. I'm adding right now. Okay, I'm sorry. If you're like, what is she doing? Why is she distracted? Because I'm trying to show you something. Right. Okay, so 0.025. So if you're doing, hold on, let me write it on the top. If you're doing an 86 by 86 quilt, she's considered a queen twin. So this is how much square footage. Well, over here, what, damn it. Over here is the square footage. How many square inches you have in that quilt. 0.02, right here, 0.02. It costs $147.96 just to long arm, okay? And here's the variant, 0.021, it's $155. 0.023 is $170. 0.025 is $184. So the bigger the quilt, that variable of that 0.01, 0.03, 0.05, it does bump it up quite a bit. So from 0.205 to 0.0, it does increase it by $40. And if you do, when it's a larger quilt, it does affect the number changes quite significant. 0.01, here's a good, what, $8 increase right here. And right here, it's a good 0.06, 3. Here's $23 difference. And here's $44 difference. And keep in mind that if I charge 0.025, it's because, one, the client's probably asking for a pattern that I'm paying $16 for. So I'm losing $16. Plus, I am also quilting a lot more densely quilting. So I'm probably investing an extra hour and a half on that quilt. And I'm also probably using a lot more thread, though I may not be charging the client for that thread. And so usually I tend to stay at 2.023. But now, and that's just in pantographing the quilt. That's in like what I'm doing right now, where the quilt just like all the way across, and where you see me here. I know you're thinking, well, you sure are charging a lot for sitting around while the machine does the work. Well, usually one of the reasons I haven't been filming is while that quilt is quilting, this one back here, I'm putting leaders on like as many quilts as I could put on. Like this one. And there's stuff that happens that clients don't think about. Like this quilt, my client didn't have enough back fabric. She was short, probably like 2 inches, and she was short 2 inches on the width and 2 inches on the length because she didn't add the 6 inches. So while I'm long arming this quilt and it looks like I'm really not doing anything, I am literally piecemealing back fabric for clients that just, they're in a hurry to send me the quilt and they are wanting me to hurry up. Well, they want me to have it so I can hurry up and get it done for them. But then they're not measuring their back fabric. So a lot of times I'm fixing things for a client that the client didn't even think was a problem. So let me move here. I may have to go downstairs for a minute. I hope it's okay. The days are long. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back, okay? I'll be right back. Talk to each other. Move over. Move over, please. Sorry, I had to go do something real quick. Sorry I left you. You okay? You okay? Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing a great Saturday. What, 3 cents a square inch? This? Yeah. Sorry I left. I had to go do something real quick. But I'm back. Let me move this machine. As a matter of fact, right now, some people are charging 0.05. 0.05. I had to run downstairs and run back up. Hold on, I'm gonna unsew. Unsew. Oh, do I have it back on? I have it back on. Okay, good. You can hear me now. You could hear me now. Some people are charging 0.05. And honestly, there's some long armors out there that are just not. I've talked to some people who want to do long arming, and I think they're really well intended and they're real sweet, and I'm not saying anything wrong. And I understand the whole concept of how expensive these machines are. And I talked to one lady, she's like, I'm not buying a machine unless I'm out to make money. And as time goes on, you will pay off your machine. As time goes on, but you're not, I don't know about what people say, you're not going to pay off your machine in a year. Unless, well, especially if you're starting. Like if you're a person that's starting, you don't have the clients, you don't have the clientele base, you don't have even the skill. Like there's a shop here in San Antonio or shirts that opened, and they ended up getting a long arm, and they ended up screwing up a couple of the clients' quilts. And the owner was freaking out because like she had some sweet clients that went to her, and she wanted this to be like a partnership with another person, and that other person thought that long arming was so easy and that you could just do it. And honestly, yes, these machines are very self-sufficient. Yes, these machines are great, but there is some skill level to where you have to know how to place the design on the quilt. You have to know how to realign the machine if the machine messes up or if the machine jams. You're going to have to figure out how to, when the machine kind of shifts itself or the thread breaks, how to restart the thread breakage in the same position. And let me just say, I gave myself a good year to practice on quilts that didn't belong to me because I was so scared of like, these quilts cost just in fabric. For example, just in batting, if I was to go to Joann's and buy the batting, even with a coupon, 50% off coupon, I would be paying probably $30, $32 for the batting because the batting itself is $60. And then if I went to a quilt store and paid for the back fabric, the back fabric cost me, what, let's say $18 a yard. And I'm buying 2.5, let's say 3 yards of batting or yard back fabric. So that's also another $60. So just in back fabric and batting, I'm paying already $120, give or take. And that's if I could find and now we don't have Joann's, so that's just a suck. And not a lot of people know about Marshall's Dry Goods. And even if you buy fabric at Marshall's Dry Goods, you have to spend like $89 to buy the whole bolt. So you're like really invested in just one color. Like I have a whole bolt of that color. And I have a whole bolt of gray. And I think I have a whole bolt of royal blue. And the reason I'm picking those colors is because I'm thinking I could use those colors like on a yellow quilt, on a black quilt, on a purple quilt. But I have a whole bolt of it. And that's how I'm getting it so cheap. So even it's still not cheap because, anyway, it's still not cheap. And yeah, that company, the husband ended up like screwing up 3 quilts, and I would go I love the little quilt shop, and I would go and help. Ooh, there's a bee in here. Come on. Come on, little bee. Come on, little bee. I have a little bee. You're not going to stay here. Hold on. Let me swat the bee out of here because it swat my face. Come on, let's go. Hold on. Let me turn off the lights. Hold on. Come on, go outside. Oh, yeah. That worked. Turning off the light worked. And so he literally ended up having a big giant pleat go through the back of the whole quilt. And the lady was like freaking out because she didn't know how to fix it. Because the only way to fix that is to undo the whole quilt. And I'm like, I'm a genius. I know how to fix it. But I have that because of all the years of many times undoing the whole thing. And this time I was like, well, maybe if I do a section, iron it, and then go back and find the design on the computer, re-quilt that area. And let me just say it is hard as hell to do that. But to have the skill to be able to do it comes with a lot of time. But anyway, they ended up almost ruining 5 quilts, and I fixed 4 of them. And they thought, well, we're just going to get a long arm for people, and it's just going to be so easy. And yeah, it can be. It can be. Like, I think I could do this in my sleep now, but the other day, the long arm was screwing up on me, and I've never had it do what it did. It's not, what it did was never a thing. I've never had the computer misalign the design, and never had the long arm ramming the back of the pickup bar. That's never happened to me. I almost wanted to throw a tantrum because I was like, wow, what is that? And I went to the basics for me. The basics was, okay, take off all the pulleys, go through all the belts. Is there thread somewhere, stuck somewhere? Did I miss something? Is something wrong? Like, and honestly, because I have that history, the neat thing is in the front pulley of this machine, when I would bring it forward, it would drag really weird and almost skip, like jam. And I'm like, that's weird. I've never experienced that. And that's when I was doing the misaligning. Thank God I know how to go through the whole machine, and I found the problem. There was a big giant thread nest in the front of this thing that was causing the pulley to jump, and that pulley was misaligning or giving the sensor the wrong sensor or something, that it was affecting the computer. And I literally wanted to cry because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to call Gamble. And let me just tell you, I hate calling Gamble. Not because Gamble is a bad company. I hate calling any company that I need I'm checking alignment. I hate calling companies that I need I just hate I hate calling companies. I hate calling warranty companies. I just, because 1, you're waiting for them. 2, they take maybe a couple hours to answer you. You're dealing with a big problem and you're trying to figure out. I'm the kind of person that if I could figure out without bothering them, it's a good day. Because I'm going to be honest, I hate calling companies. And I'm saying Gamble, because Gamble was the company I was going to have to call to have them figure out. Let me see. Okay, I think you're ready. To have them figure out what was going on with my machine. And so I was like, you know what? I go, what can I do? And I literally quilted 2 rows, 1 row on one machine. It was misaligned. It was crooked. And I'm like, I don't even know how I'm going to quilt the second row because it's not even straight. And then I put a baby quilt on there so I could quilt it. Let me start the machine. And keep in mind, these are my clients' quilts. And so I quilted crooked on my clients' quilts. And I put a baby quilt on. Let me show you the baby quilt. Come on. Come on. All right. Let me show you. So this is one of them. And this is the kind of good you have to get. Because, you see, let me roll it down. I want you to see the quilt. What happened? Okay, I'm out of thread. Hold on. Hold on. She's out of bobbin thread. One of the things too, I was saying, like, I'm preparing a lot for the quilts. I am getting all the bobbins ready for every quilt that I'm doing. I don't just get bobbins ready for one quilt. I can get bobbins ready for like 10 quilts. And so the rotation of quilts from one quilt to the next, it's just such a streamlined, quick rotation. Sometimes to set up for one quilt could take you about an hour if you don't streamline this process. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Trying to make sure the bobbin's right. Hopefully you guys could see something good. Yeah, you can see the quilt kind of a little bit. Now, I've had a lady who one year, she sent me a whole bunch of quilts, and I would give her a real big, like, I would give her a special because she was sending me quilts. Some of it would be, stop. One of the specials would be is I would pay for the shipping, or I would give her the batting for free if she shipped me quilts. Because I think, come on, right here. Come on, Mama. Let me get you started. Let's see. Maybe you can see it, maybe not. Okay, we're on the second to last row. So let me show you this, okay? Hopefully, can you see me? You can see me? Okay. Can you see me? Hey, hi. Okay, come on. Go out a little bit, please. Go out. Okay, let me show you this quilt anyway. That looks stupid. Now it works. Okay, stop it. This quilt, you gotta get so good that you can unstitch a whole row. So it quilted this row, this area, crooked. So it was from here down, and as it traveled up, it went real small all the way across. And I had to unstitch it. And I spent 2 hours unstitching it. But I am so good. And I'm giving myself a pat on the back. Yeah, I did so good because this is the area. I'm going to bring you up close. This is the area that I unstitched. And the way you get rid of the holes, you drench the fabric with water. And then you iron it with hot steam iron. So you don't even see that I unstitched it. You don't see, there's no evidence. So my client, see, and here's even some leftover thread from me unstitching it. If you were to ask my client if she could see that I unstitched it, she would never know. But it took me 2 hours to sit on my Longarm, or sit on my lap, and get it and start chicka 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 the whole thing. There's no nicks in the back fabric. There's nothing. And I guess, like, yeah, anybody could do a long arming, but not everybody, when they make a mistake or something goes wrong, can really fix it. And that's what makes you a professional in comparison to somebody who wants to like, a professional can fix anything that goes wrong. And you have to be that good if you're going to be working for clients. And I'm not saying the machine made a mistake, the realignment was a mistake. I'm also saying that maybe it's my fault because I'm not cleaning the machine as much as I should. I'm not on top of it because I'm constantly working on it. But the truth is, it's if you make a mistake, you should be able to fix it. And yeah, not only are they paying me for the long arming, they're paying me for knowing what I'm doing. I think this came out beautiful. Look, and I embroidered his name on it. Isn't that beautiful? Also, too, I've made mistakes where I didn't charge very much. Okay, this is the one quilt that it messed up on. But it also, the long arm messed up on this quilt. On this little quilt. Because remember I told you, I was like, maybe I didn't place it right. Maybe placement, I didn't do something right. Maybe something went wrong. And no, it was just the machine was misaligning in the... So this is the area that I unstitched. You can't even tell that I spent some time just undoing the mistake that happened with the long arm. And I have a trick on how to remove or separate your quilt from, like, to undo quilting. I have a beautiful trick, but let's see. Someone was saying, hold on, let me bring you here. Let me bring you here. Hi, can you see me? Do not move. Okay. Someone was saying here that they charge 0.05. So let me do 0.05. What would 0.05 be? So sometimes people ask me if I will custom quilt a quilt for them. And the answer for the rest of my life, I'm hoping it's no. I used to custom quilt for some clients that I really had a lot of love for. And I do not recommend it ever anymore because I don't think if you have the scale 0.05. So that's 0.03, 0.04, 0.05. How's that? So 396 times 0.0. Wait. Sorry if I'm calculating and I'm not looking at you. I hope you can still hear me well because I took my mic off for a minute. And I'm going to show you what that looks like real quick. 7.3. So if I was to charge a client to quilt this quilt, someone said that they charge 0.05, which is going over here, right here, 0.05 to freehand a quilt. Thank you, Wendy. We're having a wonderful day. So she charges 0.05 to quilt an 86 by 86. She'll charge $369.80. That'd be a lot. For a 0.03, which is the current rate now for Longarm quilters, they're charging 0.03 For me to get a queen size quilt, which is 86 by 86, this is a square inches, this will cost $221.88, and that doesn't include tax, thread, or batting. And then 0.04, 0.05. Not crazy. So if someone was to say, how much would you charge me for custom quilting? I'm to the point now that I refuse to do custom quilting other than for myself. I was talking about it with y'all. I tell my clients that you can't afford me. Times 0.08. No. So 7396 times 0.0. For me to do custom quilting, I'm going to charge this, which is 0.10, which is kind of like not 0.09, 0.1. I'm not adding a 0 anymore. So if you want me to custom quilt a quilt for you this size, and even this is so cheap. Let me tell you why. I ended up doing a custom quilt for one of my clients, and I really love her quilt. Her quilt was beautiful. I ended up spending 120 hours on the quilt. Okay, 120 hours on the quilt. I charged her $650, and that included the tax I had to pay the government. So it came out to 120 hours, right? 650 divided by 120 hours. I made $5.41 an hour on that quilt. Now the quilt came out beautiful. I put in a lot of work and a lot of hours. I used a lot of my talent and my skills on the quilt. And I think one thing about custom quilting where you lose money is keep in mind as a whole scope of it. So I spent 120 hours on this quilt. I think I made $650 on it. Plus I had to pay $50 on taxes, and plus I let her use an app, and I lost $40 on that app. So I really got $450 out of it, which I'm just saying, let's say I did the $650. I got paid $5.41 an hour. The stupid thing is while I was custom quilting her quilt, I hurt my back because I was leaning on the long arm for a lot of hours. I ended up going to the doctor probably 5 times. I paid $100 for my chiropractor to adjust me every time. I ended up working on her quilt for a whole month because I could only work on that custom quilt for about 4 to 5 hours every day. I couldn't be on there 120 hours in constant hours. Now I want you to think about this. I could quilt that baby quilt. Let's just say a baby quilt, like the baby quilt I showed you. I could probably quilt 5 of those. 5 of those quilts. And I said that, what did I say? I made $70? Let's say I made $70 times 5. I made $350 for quilting 5 of those little tiny quilts. And those little tiny quilts take me about 2 hours. So 2 times 5 is 10 hours. So in 10 hours, I made $350. Now, that's 10 hours of work that I made, half of what I made on the custom quilt. So when you're custom quilting for people, you don't make any money at all. And the 120 hours that I built on that quilt, I also was like not taking in a lot of work because I wanted to finish this quilt. And I think if you're going to do that kind of custom quilting for anybody, you should do it for yourself. Now, the work I did was beautiful. I did some videos on it. It came out beautiful. I showcased, like, I couldn't believe how talented that quilt looked. Like, the person who did it was so talented. And even though that person was me. But I also learned that for $650, that lady took 120 hours of my life. And she gets to enjoy the quilt. She gets to have it on her bed. She gets to enjoy the beauty of it. And and in the whole scheme of it, I maybe made $100 because I also had to pay $500 for doctor bills because I was spending so much time leaning and hunching over on that quilt. Now, I didn't know when I first went into custom quilting that quilt that it would be a problem, but it became a big lesson for me that I'm never going to custom quilt a quilt like that for anybody ever again, unless it's for myself. Now, this quilt, my client could put it in a show. My client could get awards for it, and she's going to get awards for the quilting that was done on the quilt. And there's benefits that she's getting for a lot of hours that I put towards her quilt. Now, I love the quilt. I love the person that I did it for, but it's just a really hard lesson to learn the hard way. It was a really, it's a hard lesson for me to learn. But yeah, so when someone says, well, will you do custom quilting for me? My first answer is like, you can't afford me. And when someone saw my videos of that quilt, they're like, hey, can you do one of my la 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 quilts? And when I told the client, I'm willing to do it if you pay me $2,000 or maybe $3,000 for me investing the whole month on your quilt. And of course, the client is going to be like, are you kidding? No. And the neat thing is after that, I got a lot of work after I finished her quilt. And I was like, wow, for example, I had a client who sent me a queen size quilt. Just in the, 2 hours I spent on her quilt, I made $280, or the 3 hours I spent on her quilt, I made $280. And the machine did it. I just fed it with thread and bobbin. So I think if you ask me, Lorena, would you recommend custom quilting or freehand work? You're too cheap. That's too cheap. Now, that's too cheap. But I get it. And some people will say 0.05, I have it on the screen right now, is too much. They're going to say this right here is, oh, you're charging too much. And they don't understand how much work, how much it affects the body, how much standing on your legs for that many hours impacts the human body. Especially, I'm 53, going on 54. Maybe when I was younger, I did a couple quilts for this lady who's on YouTube now. And I did a Crown Royal quilt for her. I did 2 of them. And clients are kind of crooked. Because I didn't know how to charge for a custom quilt, I literally charged her for a king size quilt $350. And she was so elated because she charged her client $1,800. And so she made money off of my suffering. She made money off of my suffering, but it's my fault. I didn't know what to charge, so it's my fault. I have to take responsibility for that. But she made $1,800, and she was boasting to everybody how much money she made off of the quilt. And yeah, and I made $300. I don't know, it kind of sucks. But I've learned a lot, and you just learn the hard way if you have your own little business. And that's why I try to be on here and I try to share the truth of what I'm dealing with, because I think a lot of people don't, your clients will scam you. I had a client who, I would quilt the quilts for her. Oh, my Sam's Club card. I would quilt the quilts for her, and then she would, and I don't know, I'm charging her right. I would bring 3, get 1 free. And so she was hiking up the prices, and even on the free ones, she was making $300, and she was making money off of my free quilt. So you just don't know. So just get paid what you deserve to get paid. And then whatever people do with what you did, you can't say anything about it because they paid you for it. But there are hard lessons out there. Hard lessons. But I guess I'm sharing mine. Hello from New Zealand. Thank you for being here. Let me see. I know. Yeah. I'm not charging the wear and tear. Yeah. But I think sometimes when the machine's running, you're making money. When the machine's not running, you're not making money. And at the time, and also too, let me just say this. As I've gotten older, I've gotten smarter about money. So I've gotten to the point like, whatever I make in my business, it's like extra. It's extra for me. And it's extra for my grandkids. It's extra for my kids. Like, it's extra for whatever I want to do for them. There was a time where it wasn't extra, where whatever I made on the long arm, it went to like an electric bill, a water bill. It went to groceries. It went to gasoline. It went towards like physical things, like physical needs of the family, right? The family budget. I've gotten to the point where I've decreased all my bills in such a way that I've gotten pretty much almost completely out of debt. And the reason I'm wanting to get completely out of debt is so I could take in the clients I want to. And I could take in the work I want to. And there's a different kind of energy or response that I have now when it comes to working for people. Like, just this year, I had some problems with some clients where, well, I'll show you. I'm not coming back to you. I'll teach you a lesson. And people tend to think that they could punish you by taking away their business from you. And maybe when I needed the money or I needed I needed the resource, it would impact me. But I've gotten to the point that I've paid all my debt off, almost all of it. I only have maybe 2 bills, to where if I work here, it's extra. So when a client's like, I'm not coming to you because you're too expensive, I'm like, I'm good because now I could do like my own quilting. It's been a great year for me. Like all those big giant quilts, even this quilt, I'm going to bind it, give it away. I'm going to give 2 of those quilts away to a business. And like when you don't have the clients and you do have the great clients that are easy, I think it's better that way because then you have fun quilting for the clients that make your life like enjoyable than having a client who's harassing you, on top of you, putting time limits, there's times where I would do quilts for people and they wanted me to do the hand binding and I would stay up like all night long, all night long, all night, all night. I mean all night long hand binding 3 quilts that were not my own. And so that tomorrow they could come and pick them up and pay me because at one time I needed to pay off the laser. And there's also other times where I would be all night long editing videos on YouTube so that I could make money on YouTube on top of making money on quilting. And I think it's been such a liberating thing for me this year that it's on my terms now. And I had some bitchy ass clients who I shouldn't have even done nothing for them, but yeah, that there's clients that say, don't worry about it, take your time, and then they drop it off Thursday, and it's like Tuesday the next week, they're chop, 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 girl, chop, 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 do you have it done? Chop, chop, chop. And that frustrates the hell out of me, and it just takes the joy out of it. And I don't know, this year's been so sweet because I've gotten clients work, but I'm not grinding it out. And it's so much better. And then on top of finishing, I finish my clients work like that. And then I get to do one of these. And I get to choose and pick where it goes. I also, I'm just learning a lot of really hard but good lessons at the same time. I've had some of the quilts that I'm giving away. I have people like, hey, where's my quilt? Why haven't you done it already? Where is it? Like, I don't know. You didn't pay for it. I feel like a client has a right to be on top of me because they're paying me for my labor. But I think when you're doing something for free and you're blessing somebody with a gift, no one has a right to have an opinion of none of it. Because unless you're paying for it, you don't have a right to it. But yeah, I mean, they're just lessons. I didn't know giving quilts away could be so controversial. I didn't know it would be a problem. But it's really not even my problem. It's theirs. But yeah, we're almost finished with this quilt. I don't want to keep you guys any longer. We've been here for like almost 2 hours. I wish you guys would ask me more questions. Because sometimes I sit here and I'm like, what do I talk about? What do I share? I am posting. Please consider watching my embroidery video. Please consider joining Lorena's Lasers. I have done a couple laser jobs that I'm going to start posting there. I literally may leave this channel and start focusing on that channel. Maybe. I don't know. So yeah. But what I'm doing right now, I'm having a lot of fun. The other day I did an embroidery video. I was so excited to see all 3 machines doing the chugga 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 dance. The other day I was like in the room so excited that I finally had time to do my own label. See, when you take in the work that you want to take in, it gives you time to do your own stuff. The other day I want to learn to do stained glass. I'm horrible at soldering. Me and my daughter stayed up all night making a glass block. Anyway, it was horrible. I didn't know what I was doing. I was struggling like a struggle bus that it was. But you know what? Me and my daughter did it, and it came out fugly. It came out really bad. My soldering is horrible. But I like struggling and I like learning. The other day I did tumblers. I have one of my lasers set up for tumblers only. And then I have my other laser set up to do other types of work. So it's been kind of neat. Oh, I also have done heat press vinyl. And I'm using my Cricut to do a whole bunch of, I've gotten probably a good, several orders on heat press vinyl shirts. I've gotten several orders of embroidery, and I'm going to just bring that into this channel. Because this channel, the YouTube algorithm says, everybody loves your long arming. Everybody loves your long arming. But when I had this channel, I also did embroidery tutorials. I did vinyl tutorials. Like I did shirts for different youth associations, and I made money that way. And I quit doing the other content because YouTube said, y'all only want to watch me long arm. And for years, that's all I've done. And I just don't want to do that no more. I'm kind of bored of it. Because here I work the day, and then I'm editing the day that I worked 3 days back. And I want to enjoy editing. And that's why I really like doing this, because it's so much easier for me. It's not such a grind. So, but there's work out there. If you want to work out there, there's work out there. And the neat thing is this year, since October all the way to this December, I'm getting a variety of work. I think sometimes you get close to people, and when you offend them or you piss them off, they almost have a vindictive kind of heart to where they want to see you fail, and they want to see you like not succeed. And yeah, I've met a couple of my clients like that, and it's just kind of been disgusting. And I kind of like, it's been discouraging, to be honest. But at the other end, I feel like God has given me like the embroidery, and he's given me like the heat press vinyl, and he's been giving me like tumbler work to where I could kind of like walk away from this. I'm still working here and making money here, okay? But kind of change it up a little bit. And so I recommend, like, if you're going to do a type of business, have different types of varieties of types of business. So one of the things I really enjoyed the other day is me and my daughter sitting cutting glass so that I could do a window glass and try it out. Now, I truly suck at cutting the glass, breaking it. I was grinding for hours. But you know what? It was just so much fun just doing something new. And one of the other things that I really love doing is that tufting. It's been a lot of fun. So if you're okay with me bringing all that to this channel, I'll bring it here. But I've noticed that when I bring different content here, I don't have as much views. And the only time I have views here is when people want to hear, drama. And let me just say this, my life is kind time full of drama, but I don't want to bring it here. It's dumb. I don't think that's what I want to do this channel for. I just want to have fun. And when I was doing like piecing in my house, like I'm just sewing, just trying. I was sewing that little quilt. I'm just sewing a little quilt. It's not even that deep. And people getting pissed off on YouTube. I don't even know how you can live with stuff when you behave that way. When you act like a child and start commenting and being totally out of line. And so it kind of like, maybe I don't want to do YouTube. Maybe this is kind of like not my thing. Especially when YouTube doesn't really pay well. I make more money from my clients that I work for than I do here. But I just want to just tell you that I love doing this. I want to spend time with you. And I think Jeanette Harris, I think I owe you a quilt, right? There's two people. Her name is Darlene. And then there's this guy, his name West Davis. Now, if I have a Longarm Quilting Facebook group. Some of you are on there. I believe Betty's on there. Jean Harris is there. Or Jeanette Harris. I'm looking at the people that are here. There, I believe, if I have removed you from my Facebook group, and I think there's one person that was on my Facebook group and started trying to advertise and sell t-shirts. If you're that person and I removed you from my Facebook group and I have blocked you and you come on my YouTube channel and expect me to give you a quilt, you're not getting a quilt. If I've had to block you because you broke the rules on Longarm Quilting Facebook group, I don't think I'm going to honor sending you a quilt when I had to block you because you kept posting content of trying to sell shirts, quilting shirts, but you're trying to sell shirts. You're trying to bring your business into that Facebook group that's private. But I believe Darlene and Jeanette, I'm not sure. Please message me on Messenger so I could get your address, so I could get ready to send you your quilts. And if I mess up, because someone thought I sent the wrong quilt to the wrong person, if I mess up and send you the wrong quilt and it's not the quilt that you want, please, I don't even believe I have to say this, please give me the grace to be thankful for the quilt that you got, despite the fact it got messed up. Because it was free, it didn't cost you anything, and you didn't pay for it. So I know I sound stupid saying it here, right? But I have to say this to people who are getting a free quilt from me. Just know that I'm trying my best, and I'm just trying to bless y'all. But Please, if you're Jeanette Harris or Jeanette, if you won a quilt and you're here watching me, please message me. And I had to go back to the live stream where I gave those away because the paper that I pinned the quilts on, it's not on, one of them fell out and I don't know which is which. I didn't do the mistake of sending the wrong quilt to the wrong person, to clarify, but I was being accused that I did, but I didn't. And yeah, it's not funny, but I mean, you have to laugh about stuff because people are so immature and they're just so inconsiderate. And I just like, wow, it's surprising, but I want to make sure that I don't mess up. So if you're here, please message me on Messenger. Say, yes, it's me. And I will look back at the video and make sure that I send the right person the right quilt. But there's one person that I think I kicked off on my Facebook group and they can't message me. They can't find me because I block them everywhere. And if I've done that and you can't message me your address, we're going to have a talk. Amen? Because, amen. I was telling a friend of mine when we did a whole bunch of baby quilts, and I lost that friendship because she was trying to push me to do what she wanted. And I'm the kind of person, like, no one pushes me to do anything unless I want to. And what I do it with a pure heart, and I want to be right when I do it. And I don't want to be pissed off giving something away because someone's like forcing my back and forcing me to do it. No one's going to force me to do anything. I'm too old for that. I'm 53 years old. Like, I'm not a toddler. I'm not a teenager. And so I really want to just do it with a pure, clean heart. And I don't expect anything in return. But I just wanted to come up here and share that. I was going to do a whole bunch of like live stream giveaways and give away quilts, but then I'm being harassed by some people about it. And it just like took the flippin' ass joy out of it. Like, I'm not enjoying. And then the thing that they're not considering is some quilts that I'm giving away. The shipping is flipping expensive and I don't mind paying for it, but I don't want to be harassed to do it. Does that make sense? I don't think anybody wants to be harassed about anything. And I don't feel like I should be getting harassed about, when are you doing it? You need to hurry up. Why haven't you sent it? When is it coming? You know, I don't understand. What's your problem? Like, so I'm just kind of venting here. I did really want, like right now on this live stream, I have 3 quilts that I could give away to y'all. I have like 3 like quilts that I could just say, here, I have it. Now, Jeanette Harris, lifting others up, making your own. Jeanette Harris, I don't remember which one. Okay, can I do this on a live? Would this be a pain? I believe yours was this one. Sorry, guys. But I really wanted to do like giveaways here. I thought it would be such a fun thing to do. But man, the devil sure does like taking the joy out of it. He really does. I don't know how that happens. Miss Jeanette Harris, is this the one that I was going to give you? Because I just need to put the binding on this one. I would have to do the binding on a couple of them. I believe this is the one I was going to give you, and I believe, and if not, let me see. And thank you, Miss Jeanette, for being so sweet and not messaging me about. Let me see. I have one here. Hold on. There, I did this one. Hold on. I know we were looking at this one, okay? It's the same quilt, I think. Sorry, guys. I have one of these. Okay, I have, if this is Jeanette, this is for Jeanette. Jeanette, okay, you there? Hold on. Wait, Jeanette. Jeanette. Okay, Miss Jeanette. I have one of these already completely bound. The bindings on it, it's washed. I have to wash them because I want to make sure that if there's any, you know what, I bought them from a lady. I quilted them without, and then I make sure I wash them with Downy and make sure they're clean so that when I send them to whoever wins them, they don't have to worry that they've been sitting here. Well, here's clean, but I don't know what the other lady did with them or where she stored them. I want to make sure they're clean. I want to make sure they're totally fine. Like I did the hexagon quilts. I had to wash them, and my friend did my binding for him, but in some areas the binding came off in sections. So I was just really frustrated because I had to go back and hand stitch the binding back. And then I had to make time for that. But anyway, so that's why there was a delay on those quilts. And then because I went to the Grand Canyon, I lost a week going to the Grand Canyon. And so there was just a whole like domino effect of why I didn't send those quilts out. But right now, Jeanette, I have one of these completely done. If you want this one, I can send this one probably Monday. I can send it to you if you want this one. If not, it's probably going to take me like a week or two to get this done and get it ready for you. And I don't mind. You pick whichever you want, okay? And but this one's just as beautiful. The other one is really pretty too. But I believe this one was the one you were going to get. Because I think, hold on, let me see. Where are you? I can't remember this one. I don't know if, unless this one was yours, but I believe that one was yours, and this is Darlene, this lady named Darlene. Do you remember this one? Yes, I literally have her name on there. Yeah, her name is on here. This is Darlene's, I believe. So this week, my plan was, and just be patient with me because my life is insane and my clients are the most important people right now. I'm getting my clients taken care of instead of taking care of anybody else, and also getting my kids taken care of. So this week I was going to start putting binding. I bought a whole bunch of binding fabric on these quilts, but I do have that blue one, Miss Jeanette. If you message me, I could send you a picture of it. If you want that one, I could send it right away. And then this one, I was going to give this one away. But anyway, I'm just going to be binding a lot for a whole bunch of people. But I'm just letting you know, and I'm being honest. Some people say, like, I go into rants. I'm going into honest rants because I'm honestly a little bit just... I don't like coming up here and not being honest about what I'm really dealing with. So, but I have those, Miss Jeanette, the first one with the black background. Okay. Lorena, the beautiful quilt on the machine. That is a beautiful quilt. I bought 3 of those. I bought 3 of these. And it is really pretty, right? I need to work on, this is the last row on here. I am giving this to, but I bought 3 of them. You want to see the ones I bought? I'm keeping you guys too long. I feel bad. I feel like you guys should have dinner with your husband or somebody. Instead, you're spending time with me. Like, really, with all my heart. Like, I wanted to give quilts away on YouTube. Like, wow, I just wanted to bless my community. I really just wanted to love and bless y'all. Let me see if I could put it on here so you can see it. Let me just roll it real quick. But I have one that I need to get. Let me show. Let me roll this one so I could keep working. And then I'll show you some of the quilts that sometimes at night in bed I because I want to finish this one, because I want to do the binding on this one, because I need this one finished, bound, and washed by Thursday. Hopefully the long arm is good. Let me get it. But I got a cat one. Oh my God, I love the cat one. And let me just share this. If I was to have a client bring me these quilts and I was to provide the back fabric and the quilting, and I'm providing the quilting time, I would charge that client $198. I already priced it out. I would charge him $198. No, $298. $298 for the back fabric, and that's just for the back fabric, the batting, the quilting, and the thread. That's what I would charge a client for my quilting service. Come on. For what you're seeing me do right now, let me roll this. Dang. Hold on. Let me roll this some more. Come on, Lorena. I would charge them $298. I had a friend of mine who bought some. And she went shocked when she asked me, how much would you charge me to quilt it? And I told her I'd charge her $298. So, that's what I'm giving. Whoever receives one of these quilts, that's what I'm giving you for free in my labor time. Because, so, but I do have, I'll show you the quilt, like all, because I have this one on here. I think I bought 3 of these. And the weirdest thing about this one, it has muslin. It's not, can you see the quilt? Yeah, it's muslin. What happened? Hold on. Nope. Let me get the batting straight. Let's see. Let's get started. I just did the bobbin. Now, believe it or not, that would just be the quilting service. Isn't that crazy? That doesn't include the binding. A couple clients asked me how much I would charge for binding, and this is where it is. How much I would charge for binding. Okay. I think I need to lower it a little bit. Binding, I'd probably charge maybe $120 to bind this quilt for a client. Yeah. Can you imagine what kind of hustle you have if you charge people just to bind their quilts? Yeah, I'm going to just start it, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you. Come on, little long arm. Let me iron it real quick. Because you know, I'm doing this for a company. It needs to look good. Come on, girl, go. No. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. This is real time. No, you're not going to burn my chair. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm trying to put the needle in so I could get started, so I could show you the quilts. Let me see. Let's start. Let me get you started, girlfriend. Good girl. Let me see. Let me let her go. Oh, come on. What the hell? The one frustrating thing is always having to thread the eye of the needle. I'm really good at it, and I try to be fast at it, but I'm annoyed when I have to do it more than once. More than once is annoying. Come on. All right, let's do this. Let's do this again. Just go. Here we are. Let me show you. Let me make sure the back fabric is nice and tight. I was going to see if it's ironed. Let's see. Sorry, guys. It's hard to work on a camera while I'm, let's see. Let's see what I got. I got this one. I think this one's beautiful. I got 4 different styles. I think I already showed you one, and it's that Christmas one. I think, no, this is a cat one. I don't like cats. Well, I don't have cats. I don't know if I like cats. I've never had cats as pets, so I don't know. I don't have, like, I just don't have cats. I've never, but I know people love cats. So I ended up getting this really fun cat quilt. And I thought that somebody out there in the world, so I can't say I don't like cats, because that's not an honest review. I just don't know what it's like. I'm a dog person. And honestly, I'm not a dog person. I'm a dash hound person. I don't like other dogs. I don't like chihuahuas. I just, it's the dash hound. So that's this cat quilt. Now, but I thought somebody would love it. Because, you know, some people love cats. And they just purr. And they're just beautiful. There's that one. I have a butterfly quilt. Where's the other one? Oh. I look all stupid, right? Because I don't know where to look. You love cats. Just Jones, maybe I'll just do it for you, okay? Because your comment was so sweet. I've been a little bit down. And your comment was beautiful. Thank you for calling me Sweet Lorena. So this quilt is this quilt. And I think this quilt is beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? And in a minute, if you guys want to stay with me, I'm gonna get, hold on, this one done in like maybe 30 minutes or 20 minutes. And you can see how beautiful this quilt is. She is lovely. Isn't she lovely? Okay, so I got that one. And I think you guys have seen the butterfly quilt. That's a cat quilt. I think you've seen this one. Isn't that pretty? It's very light. I think sometimes the fabric they chose are so light, it kind of blends into the white fabric. The butterflies kind of can disappear. But it quilted really pretty, and the thread that I used, I quilted more butterflies on it. And the fabric that I used to quilt it, I've already given one of these away. To a girl. I don't want to know what happens to me. Yeah, anyway, I already gave one of these away. And so it's beautiful butterflies. So hold on, let me see. And then there's this last one that I finished, and that I think I shared it in the beginning of the live. And these are young. She's on Etsy. She's also King something on eBay. I don't recommend buying it from eBay because on eBay she's charging $13 just for shipping for each quilt. When on Etsy, I got these for free shipping. Now I think the lady on eBay decreased the prices on the quilts so that she could charge that $13 shipping. I like this. It's more of a Christmas quilt. But all of these, let me just say, whoever gets whatever quilt, I want to share that these are just they're beautifully quilted by me. And I use beautiful thread. I use beautiful quilting designs. I make sure, even if it's a fugly quilt, it's a beautiful quilt. Because, like, look at the quilting. Can you even see? Ooh. Can you see the quilting? I use tulips, and it's a tulip heart. It's called Heartbreak. And it's a tulip that rolls into a heart. It's a beautifully quilted. And like this one that I did, it is swirls and stars. I don't know if you can see the quilting. It's just beautifully quilted. I think like and then I hand bind them. I make sure that they're bound. I had a friend who was helping me hand bind them, and she's been her husband's having some issues, so she can't help me like she was. So let me share with you what the long arm is doing. So on this one, I'm quilting beautiful roses because it's for a couple. I don't know if you can even see it. Oh, come on. And so I don't know if you guys, I feel bad for keeping y'all here. Hold on. How are you? So it's been a blessing. I've literally quilted, I believe, 36 of them and given, well, I have 2 here that are for the subscribers. I've quilted 36 of them. So it's been a blessing that, it's been a lot of fun. Me and I gave away 2 quilts to this man. And I should have never given him 2, but he begged me. He's like, please, please, please. And he's a waiter at this expensive restaurant. And so I gave him one of them, and he paid for my food. And I'm like, no, 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 I'll pay for your food, no. And so right now, I gave him the second one. It was that multi-tree one. I gave it to him. And right now, we're fighting about, like, he'll pay for my food, and I'll leave him a very hefty tip, which is really what the cost of the food is. I want him to know that I'm not expecting anything in return. I just wanted to bless him. So yes, I'm going to be working on these. I really do appreciate everyone who spends time with me. I just hope that we have a great Christmas. I'm hoping that I'll do another live. I think maybe I'll do another live quilting, another quilt, but maybe not as long. And I want to do lives on the embroidery, but the embroidery machine is so loud, all 3 of them. Chugga, 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 chugga. Oh my God. It is so delicious. And I was going to do a live when I was doing tumblers. But when you're doing a lot of work and you're doing like embroidery and tumblers and then quilting, like you should see me. I'm so tired. Like I'm exhausted. My eyes are like... And my husband's like, are you okay? I'm like, it's been a long day. It's been a really long day. But yesterday or a couple of days ago, I've been working long hours up here and trying to get, I think I need to get maybe 3 more of my clients' quilts done. Maybe just 2 more. 2 more. But then I have different type of work. But yeah. So I don't want to keep you. You guys are here too long. Thank you, Just Jones, for your sweet, beautiful comment. I just want to appreciate you. Thank you. I looked at the comment late at night or early in the morning, and it just made my day. And thank you for telling me I'm an original. I'm an original. I really appreciate you, okay? I want you to know that every single one of you who make a comment on my YouTube channel, on anything, I try to answer back, or I try to heart it. I try to answer you. That's what a blessing of is having a small community. I was thinking, like, I have such a small community. And then I was like, 300 people watch that video. And I was kind of disappointed because usually I make like 1,000 people watch a video sometimes. And somehow YouTube is not sending my videos out. But I was like, if I filled 300 women or people in a room, it would be a crowd. So thank you for being a crowd in my life. And I thank you for coming into my room and being part of my life. So that's why I really wanted to give quilts away to you, to bless my community, even if it was going to cost me. I just wanted to appreciate you, that you don't have to be here. But I do thank you for being here, because it makes me doing this worthwhile. So I also too, I got a thing on this, so we could sew outside. I don't know how chaotic that would be, but I thought it would be fun. Because I've done a video where I sewed outside. It was so much fun sewing outside. It was so much fun. But I really do bless you. Hopefully, I will post another video before Christmas. If not, please take it easy out there. I'm so stressed out about Christmas. I have so much pressure with my clients, with my family, with myself. But I love you, okay? I'm going to let you go. I wanted to finish and let you see it finish. But I'm sure you're tired of me. All right, I love you. All right, bye. Thank you. See you later. Sayonara. Just Jones, message me. Tell me which one you want. For real. I'll do it for you.